From a distance, this looks like a field grown to sell brilliant tulip flowers. But the secret of this industry lies underground. What growers are truly pursuing is strong bulbs for the next season. That is why, when the flowers are at their most beautiful, Dutch growers bring in machines to remove every flower head. They are not destroying the crop. They are stopping the plant from spending more resources on flowers and seeds, giving the daughter bulbs a better chance to grow. The hardest part is not cutting quickly, but removing only the flower, while leaving all the green leaves below untouched. Those leaves continue photosynthesizing for several more weeks. After the machine passes, the field should be pure green, not crushed vegetation. The tires must remain in the bear tracks while the rotor follows the bed height. One deviation can damage an entire strip of plants. To understand why every centimeter is controlled, we have to return to autumn, when this place was still an empty field. The Liss region is known for light, sandy soil. It drains quickly and separates easily from bulbs during harvest. But fast drainage also makes bed shaping and moisture control critical. Bulbs need air around their roots without being allowed to dry out. A dry tulip bulb is not a seed. Beneath the papery skin are fleshy storage scales and a highly organized developing bud. The basal plate is where the true roots emerge. The planter must place each bulb securely, close the soil in the same pass, and cover the bed before winter. Above ground, winter seems almost motionless. Under the cover, however, white roots have already begun growing from the basal plate. Another secret lies in the cold. Low temperature does not merely keep the plant dormant. It prepares the internal bud for stem elongation and seasonal flowering. When the first shoot breaks through the cover, the plant does not rush to make a flower. Early growth is devoted to leaves and roots. Tulip leaves have a natural bluish-green surface that helps limit water loss. Before the bud appears, every healthy leaf helps determine the final bulb size. Field inspection begins very early. Off-type or abnormal plants are removed separately to protect varietal purity and the health of the whole lot. Only when the closed bud rises above the foliage do growers know the field is approaching a decisive stage. Flower color helps confirm the cultivar, but flower height determines machine adjustment. The rotor must pass below the head and above the leaves that must remain. Once the machine starts, the boundary becomes unmistakable. Red flowers ahead, only green stems and leaves behind. The removed flower heads must leave the crop bed. They should not cover the leaves because a thick, damp layer can reduce airflow around the canopy. After the flowers disappear, the leaves enter the most important phase of their work. Sugars and dry matter produced by the leaves are moved underground. Research shows daughter bulbs grow especially rapidly after flowering. A tulip mother bulb does not remain intact forever. Each year, it is replaced by one main new bulb and several smaller daughter bulbs. So the yellowing appearance at season's end is not failure. It shows that the plant is finishing the transfer of reserves into the bulbs. Harvest begins only after the leaves have naturally aged and dried. Lifting too early can leave bulbs undersized with weak protective skins. The lifting shear does not slice through the bulb row. It travels below bulb depth and raises the sandy soil onto a screening belt. Soil falls through the openings first, while bulbs, old roots, and dry leaves continue upward. This is one reason light, sandy soil suits bulb production so well. Freshly lifted bulbs are not polished clean. They still carry soil, old roots, and papery tunics, a natural state that reduces harsh impact in the field. The tubers must be transported to the processing area quickly while still in their harvested state. At the processing shed, each lot keeps its identity from field to line. Every lot change creates a risk of mixing cultivars or destinations. Dry soil is removed before water is used. This small step reduces mud, lowers the load on the washer, and keeps the processing flow stable. Water is only meant to remove remaining surface soil. Excessive pressure can tear the papery tunic that protects the fleshy scales inside. After washing, bulbs must drain and then dry under gentle airflow. Packing them while damp raises the risk of condensation and mold. Cleaning equipment removes only dead roots and loose outer tunic. The basal plate and living scales must remain untouched. Few people realize that old root remnants can carry problems into the forcing stage. Correct cleaning matters more than making bulbs look glossy. Daughter bulbs are separated only when the connecting tissue has dried and loosened naturally. Tearing them apart can create wounds that invite rot and moisture loss. Sizing is not merely for selling by diameter. Small bulbs usually return to the field for another growing season, while standard bulbs move to market or forcing programs. 3 crate colors represent 3 completely different destinations: replanting, garden export, and controlled forcing. External inspection looks for wounds, fungi, and basal plate firmness. But some answers can only be found by cutting a sample. A cut sample is destructive and never returns to the sale lot. Inside, technicians examine the storage scales and the developing bud. Part of the lot may also enter the laboratory for pathogen testing. This is a layer of control buyers almost never see. Traceability records do more than name the origin. They connect cultivar, field, lot, inspection results, and destination into a chain that can be traced backward. Garden export bulbs are kept dry and ventilated. Forcing lots, by contrast, must be checked to confirm that the internal bud has reached the correct stage. At stage G, the flower structure is already formed inside the bulb, even though the outside still looks dry and inactive. Only after that stage is reached does a forcing lot enter its cooling program. Cooling at the wrong time can produce short stems or incomplete flowers. The export lot remains separate all the way to packing. Dry bulbs are arranged in shallow layers, so the lower bulbs are not overloaded. Ventilation holes are not decorative. They allow heat and moisture to escape during a long journey. Before sealing, phytosanitary inspection confirms that the lot meets the importing country's requirements. Each market may impose different conditions. For bulbs shipped to Japan, plant health records and inspection are part of the journey, not paperwork added at the end. The pallet must be stable but still able to breathe. Fully wrapping it can trap moisture, while excessive strapping can deform the cartons. From truck to the port of Rotterdam, the bulbs must not change state. dry, ventilated, correctly identified, and undisturbed. At the port, the pallet enters a container with ventilation clearance and physical restraints. One violent shift can damage thousands of bulbs. After crossing the sea, a small bulb still carries the entire growth program formed in the Netherlands. Planted at the correct depth and orientation in Japan, the bulb does not flower immediately. It continues responding to soil, temperature, and time. By spring, the tulip finally blooms. But its real journey began long before anyone saw its color.